Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Svava Brooks here. Hey, friends. If you're watching this replay, thank you so much for stopping by, tuning in, listening. My name is Svava Brooks. I'm abuse survivor coach, and I help adult survivors of childhood trauma and neglect to heal and restore one page, one day at a time, both working one-on-one in groups, and I'm here on Periscope, YouTube, live twice a week. Hello again, my friend Sue. Good to see you again here. Hey, Rob. Good to see you. So if you'd like to join the conversation, I'm in on Periscope. I'm in broadcast mode only. I am sorry, my friends, for that. But on YouTube, you can find us by searching for the name of the book or my name. Hey, Tina. Hey, friend. But you can join the chat, the live chat over on YouTube, because that would just send me into Overwhelm if I had two chat streams going at the same time. So, but we would love to have you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're here watching live, please say hello. Please let us know you're here so we can welcome you. Hey, Wanda. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If we are friends on Facebook, you maybe saw my post this morning. Just woke up with a heavy heart, just feeling, just tuning into the huge, how great this challenge is, the human condition of our hurt, and how many people, right? I know I'm preaching to the choir, my friends, but yeah, so just woke up this morning. I've been seeing, since this is the world that I live in, I've been seeing a lot of posts about male survivors coming forward, which is so important, and I celebrate that wholeheartedly. But yeah, so it just really stirred my heart this morning. So while I was sitting there having my morning coffee, I just had a little meltdown. I could just feel the feelings come up for me. And so my poor sweet husband walked by. Hey, love, how are you doing this morning? We kind of have a running joke in our house that we say, so far so good, in the morning, right? Very early. It's like we've barely gotten out of bed, but the day is going great. So far so good. So hey, Janet. Hey, friend. So he asked, so how are you doing, honey? And I'm like, don't ask. Or he did. And so I ended up just pouring my heart out to him, and it helped. Hey, Tina, you made it. You made it. Tina's here over on YouTube. How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Yo, Tina. Yes. The gang knows you. So anyway, so I've had my tissues handy today, and Sue and I were chatting online earlier for our one-on-one, and I was like, I'm sorry, Sue, my feelings are right here, so I'm not going to pretend that I don't have them. So we both shared our tissues today. So, but it was also so nice, right? Just to have my feelings and to be seen and heard and validated, right? Isn't that what this is all about and what we're doing? So thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, I'm seeing lots of people jumping on here over on Periscope. So thank you for joining the conversation. I'm sorry I'm not opening for the chat, but please, appreciate you watching. And again, want to let you know I'm on YouTube with a live chat. If you want to join us there, we would love to have you. So how are you guys doing today? No, exactly, Sue, right? Yep. Never apologize for our feelings. Never, never, never. Never, 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 right? There's nothing more authentic, really more real than our emotions. And oh my gosh, I know I'm not alone. How many years I worked so hard at repressing. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you too, my friend. So I've worked way too hard at just being okay with my emotions. And you guys know, on more than one occasion, I've shown you my tears here. So I know I'm good with you guys. No, I am good with you guys. So any updates? What's new and good? What's new and good? We are going to talk about easy, challenging. It's an ongoing conversation, isn't it? Talking about our triggers, right? What triggers overwhelm for us? Yes, Janet, exactly. Right? So we are going to talk about, right, child abuse causes and can cause PTSD. And especially for those of us, right, who that's all we knew, right, it can certainly lead to complex post-traumatic stress disorder, right? Because that's all we knew, right? All we knew was to fight for our beingness, right? Chronic tension, chronic on guard, chronic protecting. So we are going to talk about that a little bit today. And before I do, I'm going to ask everybody to practice really good self-care while we're here together. I know I can be maybe a bit brutal, but very direct about this. So please practice really good self-care. Oh, I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry, my friend. I hear you. I'm sorry. Hey, Sharon. Good to see you here. Glad you're here. So I would love for you guys, if you feel comfortable, how do you practice self-care when we're having a challenging conversation? Can you guys share? Because I know this isn't the first time and won't be the last where I know I'm sharing something and we start a dialogue, or I read from the journal we have a closed Facebook group where our group members share. I post the page of the day in our group, and then our group members give me permission to share their journal entry. And sometimes what we read brings up some energy, brings up some response. Good idea, Sue. Good idea. So I would love to hear from you guys. As I'm going to take responsibility for me. I promise. I'll keep it together. Maybe a little bit of tears. That's okay. But I'm also asking you guys to, what do you do? I love tapping. This morning, I did a little bit of TRE. After I had a good cry, I just laid out flat and let my body shake. It felt so good just to let that energy settle, release, and then create some opening for new energy to come in. Any other thoughts? How do you practice self-care when you feel a little triggered or feeling a little anxious about what's happening in the space? I also love ice cubes. I don't know if anybody here, I will sometimes go to the freezer, grab an ice cube, put it, where my skin is the softest, and also here in the back of my neck. Good. Still learning self-care and was just in therapy. We discussed soothing touch. Excellent. Yes, right? Also, if you have a stuffed animal that is soft, right? My little baby girl, she's soft. Rose quartz, I was just going to say, sometimes like my necklace here has a stone. It's green agate, and I love sometimes just to rub it. It's so smooth and soft, right? It feels very soothing. Feelings of nature, getting outside, just a short, brisk walk. Yes. Absolutely. Great ideas. Great ideas. I also love essential oils. I love the scent of joy or lavender or lemon or pine, even tea tree oil. I love smells. And when we smell things, it's connected to our emotional brain. The the part of us, right? It's like that part that stores memory that really doesn't even have a timestamp on our memories. So it's powerful when we're feeling activated, right? To our nervous system. Let me hold up my chart for you guys. Here it is. When our nervous system is activated, right? And we become aware what's happening in our body, to maybe have a strategy for, okay, here are a list of the things that I know I can do to help bring myself back down into social engagement. Yes, Janet, yes. You know, the same way a lot of people get very triggered by smells, right? A scent can take you back, right? The same thing about taking a scent to take you back there, to bring you back here. So I'm a big fan of smells. And what I was going to say about the ice cube, if you put, you guys are hearing about the ice baths, the Wim Hof method, right? If you put ice cold water on the back of your neck, right there where your skull sits, right? That is where your lizard brain is, right back there, or as close to it as possible. You can also pull yourself out of, right, going into fight, flight, or freeze by, like I said, put ice cube on your hand. I like to sometimes put it on my temples or back here on your neck. So, and there was one other thing that I was going to share with you guys. I don't remember. And we've talked about, right, reorient, stretch your neck, right? Stretch your necks, because when often we get triggered, it's because something inside of you triggered unsafe. You're not safe, right? So you go into protecting yourself automatically. And I know a lot of these things, right, are afterthoughts. So it's helpful to plan ahead. That's why I'm talking about these things now before we talk about, you know, PTSD and the things that could trigger us. You know, that's part of us taking responsibility for, we couldn't help what happened to us, but we're here now, and we are gonna, right, do our best to take care of our lives and responsibility for who we are and how we show up in our life today, because, right, we want to live life to our fullest, reach our potential. And on doing so, it's also plan ahead, right? Plan ahead. And so I'm a big fan of sticky notes, as you guys know. So, or write it on your bathroom mirror. So keep it in front of you, because sometimes when we're triggered, we're actually activated. We may not remember, right? We've already kind of lost touch then with that part of our brain that can sit and think, I wonder what would be good for me to do right now. So, and two more things I just thought of. I just posted an article in the Journey to the Heart group about deep breaths. Did you guys read that? Is that you can breathe in, but intentionally, you know, slow the breathing down even more when you exhale. So when you inhale, maybe on a 4, but exhale on, take it to as many as possible. 4, 5, 6, 7, right? There you go, Sharon. Yes, go play with your furry animals, your dogs or cats. Warm baths are great. And also what I've learned about the vagus nerve, which is the big nerve in the body that basically takes and interprets all the sensory information from our environment, the vagus nerve. For many of us, that nerve is underdeveloped because of our trauma. How we can help it is also every morning, I actually, you know, when I wake up, go to the bathroom, I will put cold water on my face. I intentionally do that almost every morning. And that is actually, helping waking up the vagus nerve, which is the nerves that is all over your body, receiving information from the environment. So there's so many things that we can do. So I hope some of these things maybe were new and helpful. But you always have to do that Hey, Denise, no worry. No worries. We're glad you're here. Glad you're here. Hey, Rob, I'm so glad you're giving Rob some good suggestions, some good ideas. Definitely helpful. Good. And that's the other thing. Yes, we're going to talk today a little bit about, right, what's a healthy way to manage, when we feel overwhelmed or triggered. I also want to help you guys a little bit about understanding what's actually goes on inside of us, right? And I don't know about you, but for so long, I felt broken. I felt like I had no control over what was happening. But once I understood my body, I understood my nervous system, I understood why I did certain things, it was like, why didn't anybody tell me this sooner, right? So now that we know, it helps then to take away for me, it was the shame or guilt or the worry that I couldn't change, that I couldn't fix it, right? So knowing how your body worked to protect you, we can use that part of our nervous system to help it also feel safe again, right? We learn to be that way. We can learn to be different. And then as the outcome is, how your body is sending that signal to the mind, to the brain, that there's something wrong, there's something wrong. And it's actually, there's something wrong inside, meaning that the chronic tension that you're holding inside of your body, that's what's being fed to the mind. And the mind is like, okay, what's wrong? And it starts to interpret that message and feeding it back to you. Oh, you're wrong. There's something wrong with you. Exactly, Donna, exactly. So, and as a result of that, right, when such a big part of our change, and we talked about that yesterday for you guys that are in our mindfulness course, when we recognize that connection and then recognize the unhelpful messages, right? When we recognize the unhelpful messages, that it's changing those, meaning when I hear myself say things that are not helpful or supportive to any human, I wouldn't say that to my friends. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't, use that tone of voice or those words with my animals, right? But then why do I talk to myself that way? Why do I, criticize myself that way? So it's to become really attuned to those inner messages and choose, where am I agreeing with them? And I can choose not to. I'm going to pick them out one at a time. I know it can feel, right? Like we're just picking at the same piece over and over and over again. But the thing is, for many of us, we have worked hard at putting this new habit, this belief, this thinking about yourself, it's like in everything in here. So it's going to take a little bit of time to undo it. But every time you choose, I'm not agreeing with that anymore. Nope. Then you are integrating new, healthy, strong belief about yourself. And again, that goes hand in hand with being super, super gentle with ourselves and our bodies when we have overwhelm, right? So in its simplest terms, right, healing from PTSD is all about finding a healthy way to manage overwhelm. There you go, Janet. Exactly. And I think I just had this conversation with Sue this morning, right? We have to be a little relentless to reclaim our lives, right? The same intensity and the energy, even though we may not have been aware of it, of how we fought for our life, in the past, or how we fought to survive, or how our bodies were just fighting to keep us alive, whether we had to disconnect or dissociate or whatever, we had to do to survive, it's like we need to kind of take on that power stance. Like, I'm going to fight for this because I'm worthy of this and I'm going to do this, right? So it needs a little bit of that. And I know some days, like this morning for me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've been talking about this for 15 years, right? I've been on the healing journey for 25 years. And it's like, oh my gosh, there are so many people that are just recognizing the statistics of child sexual abuse, or so many people that, you know, unfortunately, it breaks my heart when there's so many of us that don't know what's possible when it comes to healing, right? And that's why I'm here, my friends. Yes, being a broken record, recording this message. So if just one person gets a little bit of hope from listening to me and listening and hearing all the empowering thoughts that you guys are so courageously sharing, we are paying it forward, right, guys? As a group. Exactly. And I actually, I'm all over the place, you guys, but I guess I cleared out a lot of sadness. So now there's room for more passion today. So this is what happens. So I actually was teaching compassion to my mastermind group. Let's see, when was it? Just about a week ago. And those were just normal people, normal people, right? And it's always interesting to me because we as survivors, we have to go deep. We have to really get in there to understand the human condition and what it is, right, that's going on inside of us to be able to heal it. But you guys know there are so many people, right, that don't know this, right? And so I was talking about self-compassion and the importance of self-compassion. And I could tell how people were getting uncomfortable. And it's not judgment at all. No judgment whatsoever. We know that, right? But it's you know, our discomfort with feeling our feelings, right? Everybody is uncomfortable with feeling their feelings. Everybody, we're all on this journey. We are, you know, I honor everybody exactly where they're at. So anyways, but I'm glad I have you guys to rant to. So thank you for listening, guys. Captive audience, but you guys can always, you know, mute or shut me down. So anyways, so let's set up our topic here for today. So there's a healthy way to manage feeling overwhelmed, right? And the first step starts with compassion. Self-compassion. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sue. The ability to have compassion for the parts of you that get overwhelmed, even without your permission, right? Like your body just takes something, sets the body off, and then all of a sudden you're like, why am I feeling this way? Something set it off. So those are the most important parts of us, the ones that carry the heaviest load of constantly remaining vigilant to keep you and your body safe for harm. And that's it too. Often those are the parts that are like looking out for us, our protectors, right? Even though, yeah, they can be our wounded self or our inner critic, but they also serve a purpose, right? All our parts are just trying to keep you safe. That's the ultimate goal all the time. So when the trigger comes along, right, your system can't perhaps handle anymore and we become overwhelmed. And remember, again, it's okay. I know it's not fun or pretty, right? I get it. But it's coming because it's bringing you some information. Something is needing your attention. So doing the best, your body is doing the best you can. So having compassion, recognizing, right, self-compassion practices. And even that for some of us, for me in the beginning, the idea of loving my inner child or looking myself in the mirror, right? Being loving or kind towards Svava, really seeing Svava and really like accepting, you know, this body, and to be willing to go in and see and feel what it felt, right? So it's helpful to do all of that with love and kindness and gratitude for those parts that are always trying to keep you safe. And this body, this beautiful body that you have, right? That comes fully equipped with everything that you need to heal and restore. It's been fighting for you. And now that you're finally here, right? I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, sweet body. You don't have to go at this alone anymore. I am here. Scared shitless, but I'm willing to show up and learn how to navigate this journey with you. I'm working with you, not against you. So the two questions that I had asked today, what triggers, hold on guys, I'm navigating a couple of screens. What triggers overwhelm for you at this stage of your healing journey? And how do you manage? How do you navigate? Hey, Karen. Hey, Donald. Welcome. So those were the questions that I asked in the group. So my friend Donna, can I share your post? I'm going to start with Wanda since she posted here that I could share hers. Excellent, Tina. So I'd love to hear if you have some thoughts on that. And yes, if you're not in our Facebook group, please, we would love to hear your thoughts, your comments in answers to those questions. So feel free to jump in, share them with us. So Wanda shared with us, what triggers overwhelmed for me is allowing others into my life. My ability to belong is always questioned in my mind. The thought that others would be genuinely interested in being associated with me is difficult. It's always the what if. She goes on to say, I feel you, my friend Wanda. And like years ago, okay, thank you, Sue. Unlike years ago, I've learned to trust that others are genuine in their efforts to befriend me. It's a constant battle, but since connecting to this amazing tribe, it's become more believable that I matter to others and someone really wants me as a friend. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 Wanda. Yes, my friend, I could not imagine this tribe without you, my friend. And I know you're not alone. Can we see by show of hands, my friend, or thumbs up or yes, can you relate, right? How hard it can be to trust that if I let these people in, right, that, you know, what's going to go wrong, they're going to figure out I'm not who what they thought I was. Whew, right? So that always kind of is in the back of your mind. And that's part of it, is to recognize that is not a helpful message. That is not a helpful message, right? We talked about that on Tuesday. That's one of those stories we came up with as children, right? We come up with stories. Right? There must be something wrong with me, right? They don't like me. I don't belong. They don't want to be with me. I know. I agree, Janet. Beautiful. I wish you could see what we see. You are so loved. Yes, yes, wholeheartedly, yes. So I am so glad, Wanda, that you are here with us, and especially right now since the retreat, now you have an experience, a lived experience of that being mirrored back to you, right? That we got to look across the room and to see you, and we got to hold you, and we got to laugh with you and dance with you and celebrate you. So now when that unhelpful message comes up, right, is to sweet, sweet girl, sweet, sweet body. I know that truth has lived in here for a long time, but it's not the truth anymore. So hold on, I'm gonna move up here. Sharon just shared with us, I don't deal with death very well. I'm feeling a bit out of sorts at the moment. Oof, my 40-year-old sister-in-law passed away last night. My heart hurts for my only non-toxic brother and my niece. Aww, I'm so sorry, Sharon. I'm so sorry. I know your brother and your niece and their family was important to you. I'm so sorry. Be gentle with yourself. We're so sorry for your loss, and we're glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I know I don't know. I don't think anybody deals with death very well, right? It hurts, right? It's brings up a lot of questions, right? That we can't or don't have answers to. No words, exactly. Yeah. So I'm glad you're here, Sharon. I'm glad you're here with us tonight. So thank you, my friend Wanda. Thank you. We celebrate you every step of the way, So Donna shares with us what triggers overwhelm at this stage of the healing. Closeness and connection are both big triggers. A long time ago, I owned a favorite t-shirt that had a clever list of reasons for running. All now elude me, but for the first, I run to get out. I run to be in. And that describes the dichotomy I experience when being in relationship with people. So much time is spent running between the polar opposites. How do I manage this deep sense of loneliness and disconnect? It drives me to make lots of pleasant, superficial chatter. If there's a formed relationship, I know that no matter how much I like the person or some level, there's secret panic, overwhelming fear. This constant anxiety leads me to avoid and want to escape from any possible closeness. I hear you, Donna. I hear you, my friend. I know you're not alone, right? I know you're not alone dealing or feeling this in this space. So can I ask you guys to chime in here? Can you guys give Donna some feedback as to how do you manage the deep sense of loneliness and disconnect, right? How do you manage, you want love and connection and you are pushing it away at the same time, right? I've shared with you guys a number of situations in my relationship in my marriage, right? It's like I wanted this from my husband, but yet for 12 years, I expected him to leave for 12 years. And I can still remember the moment I heard myself say it. It's, that moment, it's one of those moments that's kind of frozen in time for me because I was actually being interviewed on television back in Iceland. And we were talking about the impact of, the abuse and the impact that it has on our relationships. And I hadn't put it together. I'd then been married, 15 years around that time. And it was, literally we were talking about that with the person that was interviewing me, and it came up in my mind and I said it. Yes, I think the hardest part is like you want love, but you don't trust love. And it took me 12 years to trust that my husband was here to stay. And when I said that, I was just like, it kind of dawned on me, right? Wow. So, any thoughts? How do we? And if you guys have any thoughts on this, right? And my suggestion, Donna, right, is that we still working on that one slowly, right? But who are you learning to connect with that holds the loneliness, Sue? Putting you on the spot. Who are you connecting with now that holds the loneliness, that expects to be abandoned? Yes, learning to connect with my inner child, right? Because that deep, deep loneliness and disconnect and that feeling of isolation and abandonment comes from her, comes from this little girl. So slowly, right, Donna? Slowly but surely recognizing the messages. Exactly, recognizing the messages and, right, the anxiety or the discomfort that rises up. Yeah, I hear you, Sue. Exactly. And to recognize, right, that is, my thinking around this is not helpful. Those are the messages that I learned to cope, to survive. But I am now learning to become aware of my body and how I can take care of my body and show up for my body. Exactly, because in your body is where she lives, right? So again, slowly but surely, we learn to connect with our bodies. We learn to connect with our hearts. We learn to connect with all the parts that are in there. And as we reclaim them one piece at a time, one layer at a time, then we feel less and less lonely. Yes, we need people, but we more show up in our relationships and partnerships or friendships coming from a connected place, right? So even if this, friend doesn't show up all the time, I still know I'm good enough, right? I still know I am valuable and worthy of friendship, and I know that I'm loved because I hold all that truth inside of me now. I don't doubt it. So, but it is definitely hard and feels risky in the beginning. So, but I'm so glad that you're here, Donna. Yes, exactly, Janet. That's it. There you go, Sue, right? Learn so much from the sense of safety in Texas, right? Where you just, got to be yourself, no expectations of being anything other than self, right? Yourself, right? Janet telling her she is safe, right? Exactly. It's okay, baby girl, I'm here. Or like, help your body. It's okay. You're not alone. That's why often I say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Let your body know. So I hear you. I totally, right, the anxiety to avoid and want, to escape or wanting to be present. So it's definitely a challenge, but it starts with awareness, and you're doing a beautiful job. You are working so hard, Donna. I see you. Yep, exactly, Sue. I can deal better with anxiety that way now. Yep, good. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing what has helped you. Yes, and you are loved. Exactly. Loved, seen, felt, heard. All those little videos you guys have been sharing from our dancing in Texas. Oh, just makes me smile. It was so much fun. So thank you, Donna. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sue shares with us, oddly, one of the things that seem to trigger me most at the moment is when I'm shown love. Sometimes that brings up overwhelming feelings of grief and pain. Yes. And I'm also triggered when I see others expressing anger. Partly, I think, because I still struggle to express my own anger. Yet I know all of this is coming from my inner child who has longed for love and acceptance, yet still fears it. The anger is hers too, the outrage for the treatment that she received and for all the love that she should have been shown and given and wasn't. But now only I can give this to her. I need to speak to her about all the things she needed to hear back then, right? Show her the love that she longs for, right? Prove to her she is safe. She needs to know from me that she doesn't have to bend over backwards and to fit in with what anyone else wants her to be. Full stop, right? She's just fine, exactly as she is. And at the moment, that is really challenging to me to change my thinking about myself. Yes, I hear you, Sue. I hear you, but I hear you and see you on the same, right? It's like you are working so hard to identify those unhelpful messages. Right, Janet? So thank you, Sue, right? What you wrote out, someone can definitely identify with, right? And that was what I was going to ask. Can we see a show of hands, right? Who else resists love, resists warmth, resists affection, resists compliments, resists someone leaning in delight? I see you, I feel you, I hear you. Hey, Wanda, I see you over here too. Right? It is overwhelming, yes, right? Because it wasn't safe. The people who are just the same way we are afraid of expressing our feelings, we're afraid of expressing anger because we think what we saw growing up, someone is going to get hurt. I hear you. It sounded odd to say being loved triggered me, right? Yeah, your body goes into, wait a minute, right? Exactly. It's not odd at all. Hey, Chrisanne. Hey, friend. So again, you are recognizing that now, and you are choosing, focusing in on what are some of the unhelpful messages that I have about receiving love. And as we pull those out, right, that you're not worthy, you're not good enough, it's not safe. Well, yeah, it may not have been safe in the past, but now that you're here, right, now that you're here to protect your little girl, right, you're not going to let anybody's love hurt her, right? Exactly, Rob. Avoidant attachment is the result of emotionally unavailable parents. And that's exactly part of what we are doing as we are becoming the parent and the protector that we needed. We are becoming available, emotionally and physically attuned to our bodies, to our needs. So, of course, Chrisanne, he is such a sweetie, so happy, so lucky to have you. Donna, but the time I change, I'll be too old to know. Thank you, Sue. That's right. Not necessarily, my friend. There you go, Chrisanne. You're welcome. Well, like I've told a few of you guys, I'm relentless and I don't give up on you. I don't give up, and you're doing better than you think you are, meaning you are already integrating a new way of being. You are seeing your peers in this space, talking about how, explaining how, people that are, showing up for you, that you are trusting, that if you are seeing what's possible for them, people that speak your language. Exactly. You're never too old. It's never too late to start. Never, ever, ever. So thank you, Sue. Thank you so much. Like I said, I so appreciate, I know how hard you have worked at, recognizing. And that's it, right? We often, on the healing journey, feel like, it's not comfortable to feel the hurt and the pain, but it's also the struggle with receiving the good stuff, right? To open up to kindness, to open up to love, open up to, someone, wanting to support you or being kind and generous, right? And that's the part that, for me, when I got that piece, a few years back, I was just like, I'm going to fight for this. I believe in my heart of hearts, right? We are here all to experience love. But because of our rough start, we didn't trust love. But that's our birthright, to know what love sounds like, feels like. And to me, that was my driver, my drive to keep going, because I wanted to know love and I wanted to be able to give it. And I also knew I wanted to be able to receive it from my partner, from my husband. And I also knew I wanted to be able to receive that from my kids and to mirror that back to them. What does it look like to be open enough to receive love? And that's a tall order for many of us in the beginning. It is. But if I can do it, my friends, this body has the same ingredients as all of your bodies. So we got this. We got this. So let's see here. Chris Ann shares with us, connecting with my inner self, that vulnerability, listening to the child and teenage self to heal and be there with and for them. Connecting with those I trust on this journey in an intimate and vulnerable way in order to heal and be at peace. I'm working on these as of late. Not easy at all, but I am proud. I am finally to a point that I can just recognize that this is what I need on this next step. Beautiful. Beautiful, Chrisanne. I celebrate you, my friend. I celebrate you. I know how hard, right, you have worked to get here. Absolutely. Right? And to not turn away, because you are worth sitting with and your inner child, your inner girls, right? They are worthy of your love and attention and kindness and care until they know. Until they know. That's right. That's the hard heart work of healing. And that's also where, my friends, we kind of, almost, we fall in love with who we are. We find deep respect for ourselves, right? And when we find deep respect for ourselves, then we don't let other people disrespect us. When we find how valuable we are as humans and how fiercely we can love, then we don't let others spew their stuff on us anymore, right? So it's all good. I know it's hard as heck, not fun or pretty, but you each are just doing such a beautiful job. Beautiful job. Thank you, Chris Ann. Hey, Denise, are you still here, my friend? Can I share your journal entry? You're welcome, Chris Ann. Denise, are you still here? If not, that's okay. And I celebrate no, remember that? I celebrate no. But I just wanted to share a little bit with you guys from the TRE booklet. I just love the little wisdom in it. And if you have the booklet, which a few of you do from our retreat, keep that booklet on your nightstand. I can't tell you guys how often I have read that booklet. There's just so much good knowledge. When I think there's something not connecting in my brain, I need to read it over and over and over again. And I did. I read it over and over and over again until it sank in. Now I get it. Now I understand, right? My mind was doubting all of it. And then, no, this is it. This is why. There is science behind this. There's a reason behind it. So thank you, Denise. Denise shared with us, trying to allow people to really see me on any deep level. I've always been told any emotion is wrong and was punished more harshly for having them. So I find myself having these bouts of overwhelming sadness or whatever, and I hide while sobbing uncontrollably for a bit until the emotions pass. For now, that's how I deal until I trust that emotions are safe and normal. Yes, right, Sue? So thank you, Denise. You're not alone, my friend, and this is very understandable, right? And I am, even though it's not always easy, but I am glad that you are having your feelings, that you are sobbing. And the uncontrollable, maybe the shaking and the tremoring, actually crying is kind of like tremoring. So shaking, like when we cry, is actually a stress relief, right? And your tears are your truth and also your grace. It's like you're honoring the truth about the hurt that you've been through. So, and the thing with emotions, right? We learn to express them by practicing to express them. And that's the thing for me, and I don't know, maybe other people can relate. In the beginning, I was so afraid if I started to cry that I wouldn't stop. But I learned, remember, if you imagine this is an ocean wave, right? The feeling peaks, the emotion peaks, and then it comes down. It escalates, it peaks, and then it comes down. It's just that in the beginning, we want to control it. We want to stop it. We want to shut it down instead of, right? like someone said in our mindfulness course yesterday, it's like giving birth, going through contractions. You feel the pain come on, you brace yourself, right? You keep breathing, it peaks, and then it comes back down. So I'm happy to see and hear, Denise, that you're having the emotions. That is how we also learn to trust ourselves and be familiar with it, how it feels like, what it feels like, what's the experience of expressing those. And then when the intensity kind of calms down a little bit, then we can put it into words, right? And that's the other part too. If we've been up in a frozen state for very long, as we come back down into social engagement, we have to go through the fight or flight, which is also where our emotions are stored, where sometimes our emotions need to be felt in order for us to come back down and to relax. So thank you, Denise. I hear you. Many of us, right, have been told our emotions are wrong, right? Stop feeling, stop crying, right? You're not alone. You're not alone. So I just wanted to, like I mentioned, how David Berceli describes post-trauma reaction imprisons us into reliving the experience, right? Because the experience is emotionally and physiologically overwhelming, the body stores the memories, thoughts, and emotions of the trauma in order to process them at a later date. The high chemical charge left in the body after trauma continually seeks to discharge. When that discharge does, sorry, my eyes, I need a better light here. When the discharge does not occur, both the emotional and the rational part of our brain translates this excessive charge into either intense emotion, such as hatred, rage, shame, etc., or ideas of revenge. Distrust or negative ideology. Sorry, guys. Definitely need to get stronger lenses, I think. So, again, right, there is a reason. There is a reason, my friends, while we get stuck here. And we are all doing the best I can. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. We're all doing the best we can, my friends, with what we have to understand, right, the intensity of what's happening in here, how to navigate the ride. Comes with age. Thank you, Sue. So, and you guys are doing a beautiful job supporting each other in this space, right? One page, one day at a time, one breath at a time sometimes, right? So I drew a card for us today, which is always perfect. One day she decided to open her hands and receive. Today, right? A few of you actually talked about that, receiving today, receiving love, being connected. Yep. It was almost as if I chose this card knowing what the topic was, but I didn't. Meaning I just lay the cards out there and there it is. All right, my sweet friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. Please, I hope you've been practicing some self-care, being gentle with yourself, as we have been talking about some hard things. I know. I know. So this weekend, make sure you go do something. Thank you. Do something that sparks joy. How about that? Something that sparks joy. Go out in nature. Do something that really makes you happy, right? Focus on your gratitude, right? Because you are worthy of love and support and kindness and generosity and rest and rest and rest and rest. All right, sweet friends, thank you so much for today. I will be back here on Tuesday next week. So for anybody who's just tuning in or watching the replay, wondering what the heck we're doing here, we are working our way through my book, one day, one page at a time. And if this conversation was helpful to you, thank you for the hearts over here, Wanda. Please give me a thumbs up here on YouTube. That's all helpful. And if you want to drop a comment down below, if you have an insight that might help other people. Thank you, Sue. Shout out to Gule and Nora. Yes, the whole tribe. The whole tribe. We are with you. We see you. We hear you. Thanks, friends. Look forward to next time. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Good night, Denise. Good night, everybody. Good night, Wanda. Have a good weekend. I'll see you next time.